I'm gonna try and do this one like super basic, so that like any person who's new to the game can go, okay, that's how you do it. Making a first-person camera, so we'll grab a. Now, if you want to do it even easier than this, you can just go to um, your search. You can go when it loads up, go down to Creator Content, go to Contraptions, and you choose that one there. That there is a first-person puppet. That is one that Media Molecule made. That you literally don't have to do anything. So if you jump into it now, it's first person. It's ready to go. Off you go. But just say we've created a puppet. I'm not going to create anything. It's literally I'm just going to use that puppet there. So what's an easy way to rig a first-person camera into this and still have the third puppet usable? Now, if you're going to have it toggleable between first and third, this method is good for that. And if you want to have it just first on a pre-existing puppet, then this method is good. But if you want to make a first-person character puppet, then obviously doing a full rig would be better. But this is how you can do a non-full rig, but still have it relatively work relatively, in fact, very well. You need your puppet, and then obviously we're going to need a where are we? Over here, a camera. Now, ideally, to get this to work the best, you need to get the puppet aligned with the XYZ stuff, and then get the camera aligned XYZ stuff, and then you can obviously face that to the front. So if you've got it, if you place it and you like, hover over and then push left trigger or L2, and then triangle, it'll align. But if you've got, where are we? Grid snap on, or precise move, sorry. Sometimes it doesn't align exact. But then if you turn that on, and then as you can see, like the puppet's looking in that direction. So we can either rotate the puppet or rotate the camera. We'll rotate the puppet, make it easy for ourselves. And obviously we're making first person, so that the camera needs to be in the head. So we're going to grab the thing while we've got precise move on, so it doesn't unsnap from the thing. Then while you've got the camera selected, hover over the head and keep pressing until just the head is sharp like that. And then place the camera around about, like you don't have to be exact. The more exact you are, obviously the better it's going to perform, but yeah, whatever. So we'll say about where the eyes would be. So we're going to go, that sounds good. Now, for precise movements, we're going to go in. We're going to move it back into just as we start seeing the head. See, there's the head. So we're going to go to about there-ish. So that would be roughly where your eyes would be. Then we're going to open up its thing, and we're going to leave this dot here is if you want to move the actual camera itself. But I'm not going to worry about that. We're just simple. So placing it in, it's there. So there's the camera controls. So I'm going to back out. Oops, back out of the thing. So all the way out. I'm going to grab the puppet controls. I'm going to make this toggleable between first and third. So we're going to grab ourselves a. We'll go chip to make it easy, less confusing. Okay, so we want to make it so that we can toggle between this camera and the third person rotating camera. So we're going to grab one of them and wire up that into slot B, and then we're going to grab whatever button you want to toggle between the cameras. So we'll go circle. So we'll go circle to there. So as it stands right now, when you've got the puppet like that and you hit circle, it's going to toggle between the camera I'm on now and the first person. But as you can see, like it is like all over the place. So what you need to do with that is when it is on the first person, we're going to grab, uh, hover over L1. I'm going to try and remember what the buttons are called. L1, square, like this, because I keep calling them triggers and shoulders and people get confused. So we've got the puppet controls. I'm going to grab a keyframe. Place the keyframe anywhere. That can stay, that can stay, oh, that can stay, oh, that can stay. We want to come across to this one here. Bounciness, ideally you want to lower that, but we're not going to worry about that just yet. And in here, we want to go this one here. Turn it down really low. We're going to go 10. You can go lower, we'll go 10. We're also going to turn down sassiness, sway, lumbism, and if stiffness is up, stiffness. We're going to turn them down as well. They can affect the way the camera motion you get when you're walking. So we're reducing that. Springiness, reduce. The breathiness, reduce. That, the arms, the anticipate, and all these legs except for bounciness can all be left alone. You don't have to worry about any of them. All they do is change how the limbs move. We're not worried about that. We're worried about any movement that's going to affect the camera. So this here is when you move the controller, how much the puppet will move with the controller. Those four there determine how much upper and lower body movement you get per step. And this one here and this one here is how much wibbly wobblies and breath. So when you breathe in and out, how the puppet moves, it determines that. So we're going to turn them off so we don't get any movement. But we're doing it in the keyframe, so we're going to save it. Take that out, and then we just wire that up to there. So what we've done is when we push circle, it toggles off the main camera and toggles on the first person camera and also reduces the movement of the puppet. So now when we go to play, there it's still got all the full movement. So it does the whole, that when you walk, it still walks like it would normally walk. But when you go into first by pushing circle, it goes in, it's a reduced movement. That's still too much. It's going to be lowered to 5. So we'll come in, open up that. You can actually turn that off. So if we go here and go to that one, that will turn it off. So we're turning the controller motion to off because we're going to correct it with the other keyframes anyway. So now when we're in there, when we go into into the puppet into first person, when I move my controller, you see there's no movement at all. I'm moving my controller now, there's no movement. But that doesn't help looking up and down. So to add easy up and down motions, don't wire it into there. It'll confuse the puppet control. So we're going to come into here, go to the green one, grab a sensor. We're going to disable all that. Go again, left L1, left shoulder, square. Possession type, remote. That's simple. And then leaving it open, we're going to go to, you can use either, but one of them will cause, when the character changes its angle, will cause it to change. My rule of thumb is if I look into here, the walk is attached to that one. So we don't want to go to the second one, we go to the third one, which is local. So we want to grab the right one. We're going to come into the yellow guys, and we're going to grab some splitters, which are those ones there. We need 3 all up, so we'll go 3. Because what we're going to do is run the right stick local into there, which will then split horizontal and vertical types. It used to be you had to guess, but now it's actually labeled, as you can see there. So left, right, up, down. Now, if you look on the way the controller is laid out, it's always, let's D-pad one there, up, down, left, right. So try and stick to that order. So we're going to go up and down are going to be the top one, so we grab this one and go to the top one. And left to right, we'll grab that one, go to the bottom one. So now when you look, it's positive, negative on the up, down, left, right. You're still going to have to guess, is positive left, right, left or right? But it's easy enough fixed if you get it wrong. So now we've got the right stick running into the splitters and splitting up left, right, up and down. And as you can see, there's the puppet. So what we're going to do is grab a keyframe, place a keyframe, and we're not going to worry about moving the camera so much at the moment. We're just going to grab parts of the puppet and just move it. And we'll just slow. We'll get him to about a 15. Use your own judgments here. Just don't get the camera looking any closer to straight down than you need to. So if you do that and save it, so that keyframe now moves the puppet to that. Then we can grab, for example, we'll go positive, place it into there. It's on remote. So whenever I move the controller, as you can see, when I move the controller down, I can tell right now it's down. Because when I move the right stick down, the puppet's looking down. So that is correct. So now when I'm in here, there it still works like a normal third-person puppet. Then when I push circle, it goes in. There's no movement on the gyroscope, but when I push down, as you can see, the camera actually goes down. But as you can see, when you go down, you still can't see the feet. We want to be able to see the feet, so we can say, okay, there's a ledge there. Don't step over the ledge. So this is where we've got to go into here. Go to this one, turn it off, and turn those two on. You don't need this one, but we'll turn them on anyway, so you can see the camera. Grab that keyframe again, and we're just going to grab the camera, so until the camera's highlighted, go to the back somewhere, and we'll go about 25 degrees. Just rotate that, and save. So now we've added the camera rotation as well. So when we come into first person, and you go down, you can just see the feet, but it still all works as the third person puppet did. So if you've got all the sculpts like their hands and stuff like that, you can do that. And if you want to see more, like I wouldn't go any more angle than that. If you go any more than that, you're going to get the weird wobbles. Or when you move, the character's going to walk. When you go forward, it's not going to walk forward because the whole left stick is on, not local, but you get the idea. So what we're going to do to fix that issue is come into here, grab the puppet controls, grab that. I suppose I better explain it. Left shoulder, L1, X. Stop recording is up, so therefore it is recording. We're going to grab the field of view and just turn it up a bit. 72. Done. So now, when you're looking straight ahead, field of view's 62, which is normal. When you look down, the field of view will widen out a bit and you'll be able to see more of the feet, as you can see. But it's still going to work relatively well. Now, obviously, you got to do the same for the left, right, and everything like that. So to do the lefts and stuff like that, for example, grab another keyframe while it's flashing and the stop recording is up. You know it's recording. For left and right, I would just grab the camera itself like this and just rotate the camera. I wouldn't worry about rotating the puppet. 30 degrees sounds fine. Run that into, say, positive. We'll see if positive's correct. Okay, which way is that rotating? I think that's right. I think that's correct. Play mode. Okay. So right now, if I go in, down works, and I think left, no, right, right, it's on right. So I've obviously got it wired up incorrectly. So when I push right on the right stick, it's turning left. So obviously I've got to come in here, grab this one, and change it from the plus to the minus. That simple. And just remember, if that one's rotating to the left, the next one I place in, go to the right. So it's simple. So yeah, come in. And this is the reason we've got precise move on. Oops. Just the camera selected. I went to 30 degrees. About there. Done. Do the same with up as well. So right now, left and right is done, and look down is done. So if I go into the puppet, left, right, and down. The puppet's gyro doesn't kick in unless I'm in third, then gyro's in. Now, the last little tip here is when you're in here, as you can see like that blue, you can see around the edges, we're going to fix that, but we don't want the head and the shadow to disappear. So this is the trick I would use for this. Okay. Come back into here, we're going to select the head. One more. Okay, so just the head sculpt is selected. And if you come in here and click that to test, go visible, while, oops, I've still got that turned on, turn that off. You can see just the head disappears. So we've got the right one selected. What we're going to do is come up to here, and when we have first person on, we're going to turn the visibility off. So we're going to go enter keyframe, so it's recording, and click off that and save it. Now that we've done that, when we come in here, we go to first person and look down. You see the head's disappeared? This is the trick I was talking about. While in this one here, we're going to go to there, cast shadows, always. Just change it from when visible to always. So now, in third person, you can see the head's in the shadow. Let's switch to first. The head is still in the shadow because the camera itself can't see the head, but it is told to always cast the shadow. So therefore, even though you cannot see the head, so we're not going to get the blue. Oh, that's probably the chest we can see there. You can not see the head through the camera, but you can see the shadow. Now, that's got to be the chest. So let's do the same with the chest, so we can get rid of that. We grab the chest. Again, just to check it, make sure we've got the chest. Yep. We can then come up to here. There, so it's recording. Not visible. Stop recording. And again, so it's always casting a shadow. That. Come back in. Now when we come into here. Oh, it'll be the neck, okay. The shadow is still on the ground. Let's test it. We'll do the neck just to make sure. Yeah. When in first person, hide, save, always cast shadows. We can now close that. I don't mind hiding the chest and the neck because we're not looking down far enough, so we don't see it. If you're looking down further, obviously only hide the neck. And in fact, I'll undo the chest piece because we know it's not the chest that's doing it. Oops, too far. So come back up here to undo what we've done. Re-edit the keyframes, that's re-editing. Go to the visibility. As you can see, it's got the crosshatch. While hovering over, left shoulder triangle, we'll undo that, just that change. Save. So now when we're in first person, if we click on that, we'll see that the neck and the head has gone invisible, but is still casting a shadow. So that should be good. So we now come into first person. It was the neck. There you go. So you can see the head in the shadow. You can see the neck in the shadow. The puppet moves around like a normal puppet would. Now the anticipate turn is, you know, you're getting that the angle when you turn. That's anticipate turn. If you don't want to get that, you just simply. This is all on stylized preferences. We can turn them off now. Come down to here, go to there. Bounciness, let's turn that off. Uh, we'll turn the breathness off. Where's it just meant? That's turned off anyway. Lean lag, okay, that should be good. That should be good. Now this is all just preference stuff. Center of gravity, generally speaking, try not to touch that because if you do something wrong, the character's gonna look really weird. But I'll show you. If I go center of gravity, we'll turn it down. We'll go -16%. Now when you walk, as you can see, like it's sort of like doing the floaty thing. And if we go the other way, it'll dip into the ground a bit, walking like it's crouched. So it's at 15% now. So if I do it now, see it goes down the way. That's why, generally speaking, I wouldn't worry about touching that. But yeah, we'll leave it at 0. A little bit, -5 to +5. That's not too bad. So there you go. That's how you do a thing. So we're in for third person here. All works perfectly fine. Does the jumps, fly. Push circle. Toggle into first. We can move around. We've got all the gyro turned off, so that won't affect it. I haven't added the up, obviously, but you can add the up. And we can look around. All the functionality is still there of the third person because it is still just the third person. All we've done is added the ability to see from the head. And that's how you would wire up a first person camera, very basically. All you need is this extra chip and a camera and a couple of keyframes. Again, don't run the camera controls from this one here because it will interfere with the third person mode. Put it into here and run it off a remote. And also local, not normal. You could switch this one from the one it is to local, but then it's going to be more like a tank control. So if I switch it and show you, we'll get that to there. I'll just quickly show you. So now when we control it, it will literally walk. Like if I want to come towards its south, if you're going to call it that, I push down. Even if I'm looking in this direction, pushing down will still go in that direction. Pushing up will go in that direction. So this is the one that's in now is north, south, east, and west. So up is north, down is south, so on and so forth. So we don't really want that. That's why we don't put the two in the same controls. But if you want to, as I keep saying in my videos, there's no wrong way to do something. If you want to do it that way, you do it that way. Put it back. Okay. See, now wherever I'm looking, up goes in the direction I'm looking. That is the reason why, with the first person camera, if you go directly down and you walk forward, if it's looking straight at the ground, the puppet doesn't know where to go, so it walks around in circles. It does try it, you'll know what I mean. If you look almost down, widen the field of view on the camera, you'll see more, but you can still walk forward when you push forward. So that's all this tutorial was about, was how to rig up a first person camera easily. And that one is probably the easiest way to do it. You can toggle between third and first. Again, if you don't want to see the transition of going in and out, just change the, go into here, come into here. Let's turn that, go into the camera. Just turn that and that to 0. So it's cut to 0. It will now instantly go in between. You should not see the head disappear now. It should be like, boom, we're in. Boom, we're out. Boom, we're in. There's not much more I can... Yeah, there you go. Use keyframes. For the down, I'll do it for the up as well. Move the puppet a little bit to bend it over. It's a more natural look than if you just move the camera. Side to side, just move the camera. You can move the puppet, but extra work, do you need it? No. You can just get the camera Again, don't go, when you move it sideways, don't go directly 90 degrees. You can go just before 90 degrees, but if you go 90 degrees, it's not going to look natural, it's not going to feel natural, and your puppet can move weirdly. Keyframe it to reduce all the anything that will make the puppet thing. So if I grab, for example, just to show, so if I turn bounciness up, so if anyone gets motion sick, this is going to freaking not be a good thing. As you can see, the puppet bounces a fair bit. Like if I just walk slowly, it's bouncing a lot. If you do that while you're in first, you get a lot of bounce. Bouncing like that isn't too bad, but if you've got wobble, so if we come in, we'll add some wobble as well. How long will it take for people to throw up? Where are we? We'll add a bit of springiness to it. And we'll, like all these ones here, we turn, oh yeah, because I'm doing the keyframe to turn it off, aren't I? So go into here, just turn them back on again. And that one back on again, and that one back on again. So it's now got 25 springiness. Let's add a bit of breathness to it. Again, the breathness isn't too bad in first person. It can get a little annoying, but it's the springiness, these four here, and that one, which will cause the issues. So it's now got a good amount of movement in the first person. So if we come into first person, just standing there, not touching it, you can see it's slightly moving. It moves forward slowly, we'll do the bounce. And it's in a sideways motion, thing like that. And if you're making a first person game and people get motion sickness, that's not going to be good for them. You could add a switch that toggles all those things off, so that if you don't mind it being on, you can have it on. So you can call it camera motion, toggle on and off. You could do that, or with a keyframe. But that there is your first person camera. Fairly simply, like you think about it, an extra controller sensor, a switch, heap of keyframes, and some splitters. You got a first person camera working. Main parts is to remember is to attach the camera to just the head. You can attach it to anywhere you like, but when the puppet moves, if it's attached to just say the hip, and the character moves and the head goes forward, it's going to go through the camera. So that's why you attach it to the camera. And when you're in first person, we're hiding the head, but still casting the shadows. So it can go through the camera, but you're not going to see it. But there you go. There's the camera. And do as I say, not as I do. Label it. First person camera. Close it all. So when you got to work on it later, you can come in and you go, oh yeah, there's my puppet. There's my chip. Let's open it up. We've got to do some editing. Ah, that's the first person camera. And then if you want to go the thing, go that. Ah, first person camera. I need to tweak something. There it is. If you want to see how the wiring goes, let's make it so you can see the wires. Okay. Let's do this so you can see. Just a quick overview of the controls. Whatever button is switching from first to third goes into the selector. The cameras are attached to that one there. And so is the toggling the visibility of whatever sculpts the head, the neck, whatever, is into there. And that will also toggle off the motions. So wobble, sway, all that sort of stuff. That's all through there. And then new controller sensor running on remote. Run the right stick local through a splitter, and then run the ones that come out of that through splitters as well, so you can get the up and the down, the left and the right all separated, and then just run keyframes moving the camera and any sculpts that will ease or smooth the feeling of the movement. Because you don't want to just move the camera and have it look very jarring. You want to like it, someone's looking down. So that's the reason why I moved the abdomen, the chest, just that little bit, unless it'll be 5-10%. And then the last thing you adjust is the camera. Because when you look down, you're not necessarily looking down with your eyes, you're looking down with your body, and then you move your eyes to see the point you're looking at. So run plus minus to the keyframes. When it's like this, if you're in test mode, you should be able to move the stick. As you can see, when I move the camera down, it lights up. So you can test if it's lit up, if it's all wired up correctly, like through that. So that's it. There's your first person camera wired up. Feel free to screenshot that if you want to see how to do it. Hope this helps if someone's making a creation using first person. If you want it just first person, you don't need this wiring there. You can literally just grab, where are we? One of those. Or even better, one of those. And just run that from there to there. So right now it is going to be, while that switch is powered, it's going to be first person. Boom, first person. Whether you're possessing the puppet or not, it's going to be in first person. The only wiring you need from the main controller, if you're doing the toggle, is whatever button toggles it. I chose circle, you could choose triangle, you could choose square, you could choose any buttons you like. Hope it helps. I'm out of here, stay safe, I'll catch you all next time.